asks, what happens to those from other religions? I believe this was in reference to the judgment. What happens to those from other religions?
What happens to them from other religions? I
Yes.
suppose is that there's some people who believe all non-Adventists will be lost. Some people believe that. Why they believe that, I don't know. Now, salvation and damnation is not based on religious affiliations necessarily. It is based on your relationship to Jesus Christ. Of course, Christ requires obedience. Don't misunderstand me. In Acts chapter 10, 34, 35, Bible says, then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons, but in every nation he that worketh righteousness feareth God, and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. Now, the Greek word for nation is ethne or ethnos, I think it is, which gives us the word ethnicity. So in every ethnicity, then we extend it to every religious group. There are those who have a heart for God. And when God calls, they'll come. Now, there are those who lived before the holy place, the most holy place was open, and the light of the law shone out. They lived before that. They will also be saved. That includes Martin Luther, those reformers, Huss Jerome, I believe Ellen White mentions them. They'll be saved. Since the most holy place was opened in 1844, October 22, the light of the Sabbath went out and people had to make decisions. But wherever there's genuine ignorance, but a heart to serve God based on all the person knows, there is salvation, you see, because God doesn't judge you based on how much you know. He judged you based on your response to what you know. If you know this, he expects that. If you know this, he expects that from you. And so it is not who is in another denomination. It is what is the person's relationship to Christ. This is number one. Now, surely we know from John chapter 10, verse 16, other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I will bring, and they will hear my voice. There shall be one fold, one shepherd. We know that. We know the loud cry of Revelation 18, 1-4 targets the invisible remnant in the other churches. That's why the cry is, come out of her, my people. We know that. But it's also true that there are many people of other denominations who have died, not having received certain specialized biblical knowledge, but they loved God to the extent of the knowledge they had. And they'll be safe when Jesus comes. But Christ has a remnant on the earth. He really does. He has a remnant on the earth. Cornelius had a heart for God. He did not know the true God. Jesus sent Peter. There are people in that condition. And so I don't want to stress other religions. I wanted to stress, what is your attitude, your relationship to Jesus Christ?
Amen.
I saw what will happen to, I'm not sure if it's you. No, it must have been. I have another program right after you, another question and answer for a church in Jamaica. The question may have come from them. I think it is, what happens to 12-year-olds? I believe it is one of their questions, not yours. So we'll skip that for now. All right.
Amen. Amen. Okay. And I accidentally skipped this question. This is from Ingrid L. She says, believers say, I want to be in that number. Which number is being referred, the 144,000 or the great multitude which no man could number, as found in Revelation 7?
Either one you're safe. Now, there are some people I've heard, they'd love to be among the 144,000 that are alive on the earth when Jesus comes, that number that goes through the time of trouble such as the world has never seen. Now, I'm not sure people understand what they're asking for when they ask for that, because the time of trouble will be terrible. God will put a lot of his people to sleep because they cannot handle it. So it sounds lovely to say, I want to be among the 144,000. But remember, when Jesus was in Gethsemane, he asked the Father, get me out of this. And in a certain sense, the 144,000 will be going through that. Jacob's time of trouble, a suffering that requires a special brand of faith. And so whether it's the great multitude, 144,000, wherever you locate yourselves, you're safe. But try to get close to Jesus. You see, that's the point. Get close to Christ one day at a time. These future projections, I want to be in 144,000 in the year 2026. No, get close to Christ now. And he will determine whether he allows you to go through or he puts you in the grave to save you. But that's his choice.